Hello, my name is Mitchell Cohen, and today I'd like to talk about how I go about my HDRIs, creating them, formatting them, things of that nature. This is an example of one of the skyboxes or HDRIs. Here's another example. So, how I go about this is I start with an AI generator. I use MidJourney, then it goes to Photoshop, and then Unreal Engine. Let's take a look. Two things. One, the aspect ratio should be around 2:1, or as landscape as you can get it. And use words like seamless, 360 degree, panorama, equirectangular projection that I've gotten good results with sometimes. They should look like this. So try to do seamless 360 degree panorama of whatever you want it to be. We use HDRIs to light our scene with a more realistic setting. One great feature about MidJourney is the rerun button. So we're going to create a new HDRI from scratch, and then I'll show you how to process it. Again, you're just using this to light your scene, so the bottom half of the image is less important, as it won't be seen as much. I also like this one. I'm going to use this specifically because the light is in a very distinct direction, and we can use that to our advantage. Download that. I use Photoshop specifically for the generative fill. I will share this action so that if you don't care or you want to just have this quickly, it'll do it for you. However, this is the process. We're going to use an offset filter to expose the seam, which is where the image ends and starts. We're going to make sure that looks good and convert it to an HDRI file. You'll go to, in Photoshop, go to Window, Actions. You likely would click this, Load Action. I will provide these files. The dimension of your input image matters, and you'll see here. So I'll click that, and you'll hit the play button. You can see it's generating. What's happening here is this is the offset filter. It basically takes the edge of the image and rotates it so we can see where it ends and starts really easily. After it's done generating, you can see it cleans it up, and it looks like it's done. We have the PNG image here and the HDR file. Please note the HDR is a decent amount bigger in file size than your original PNG will be. So conceptually what happens is we rotate it over so we can see the split, we select it, fix it, and save it. If you use this action, you might want to rename your image prior to loading it into Photoshop. Once we're in Unreal, we can simply drag the HDR file into the content browser. You can see the sun's coming from this direction here. I don't see that ugly line that was right down the middle. This software is called Motion by Apple. I'm just going to simply use it to demonstrate the difference between the images. So here is what it would look like just from MidJourney or your AI. And there it is with no seam. Back to Unreal. Now that we have our HDR loaded in Unreal successfully, you can see the shadows below it. And what's even cooler than that is if I adjust the rotation here of the image, you can see the shadow actually changes and influences the entire scene based on where the sun is in the picture. Another quick helpful tip. After enabling HDRI backdrop, if it's already enabled, that's okay. It will then become an available actor. One thing that depends on your scene that'll improve your visual results is changing the actual mesh of the backdrop. So in this example, it's a little bit more vast. This one looks a little bit closer. Just depends what your preference is. How you adjust that is under the geometry of your backdrop. You can see its static mesh is currently Envirodome, and another option would be Skybox. That alone was such a difference in quality. And you can see here the difference in vibe simply from changing the HDRI backdrop. And once you collect a couple, just switch between them. Change the intensity. I'm using post-process volume specifically for the exposure, and there's no other lighting in this entire scene. Like if I shut this HDR off, I see nothing. And that's the concept and workflow. I'm going to share all the files I've talked about in this video, as well as some new ones. Please let me know in the comments what prompts have worked well for you, anything that has worked well, any better methods, any questions. Thank you. Peace.